Hi, everyone, and welcome to North Dakota State Library's webinar on Mango languages in overview. I want to get started on time, so hopefully more participants will come in during the presentation. Today, I would like to introduce Sabrina Richardson, who is a representative from Mango Languages, and she will be doing this webinar. All participants are muted. If you have any questions, please use the chat box. I will be monitoring the chat throughout the webinar, so if you have any technical issues, please send me a message as well. Otherwise, I'm gonna send this over to Sabrina.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angie. Yes, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Sabrina, as she mentioned, and I am a client care advocate here at Mango. And today we're going to take a look at the new Mango learning experience and go over how to navigate Mango's key features. So yeah, you know, in the essence of keeping things on time, I've aimed to keep this short and sweet because I know you all have busy schedules. But my contact information will be posted at the end. So if anyone does have any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time. So for those who might not be familiar with Mango, before we get started, Mango Languages creates a self-paced language learning software that's available on both mobile and desktop. We partner with public libraries, schools, and other institutions across the globe to provide free access to over 70 world languages and more than 20 ESL courses. And most recently, Mango has started partnering with the North Dakota State Library to provide access to everyone across the entire state. So we are going to take a look at how to get started and just how easy it is to navigate. So for any new users who are looking to create a profile with Mango, to sign up, the only information that you'll need is an email address, your library card number, and a password. But for today's webinar, we are going to log into an existing account so we can just jump right in and start taking a look at it. All right, so upon logging in, you will see our all-in-one interface that reveals a comprehensive view of features and content right at login. This allows easy access to all course material for a learner's chosen language. We've recently expanded and restructured our content to better align with international proficiency levels. So we now have 5 units available along with skill-based practice activities for our top 9 languages. Our top 9 languages are Spanish, French, Japanese, Mandarin Chinese, Levantine Arabic, Russian, Italian, Brazilian Portuguese, and German. But as we mentioned earlier, Mango does have over 70 world languages, as well as more than 20 ESL courses. And for the ESL courses, those are actually completely narrated and written in the native speaker's language. So if you are an Arabic speaker, for example, navigating Mango is extremely easy. But today we are going to take a look at our French course. So we're going to go back there. And so, oh, yes?
We're just still seeing your slides start the conversation.
Oh, no, let's see. Are you seeing the first screen now, the introduction screen?
No, what you'll need to do is do a new share.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
That will move from your PowerPoint to, I'm assuming, your browser.
Okay, let's see.
There we go.
All right, are you seeing the interface now?
Yes.
Okay, my apologies there. So let's see, so to take it back a little bit, right now we are in the French interface, so this is where you see all of the key content that we have available there. On the left-hand side, we have it broken down into the main units where you'll find the key course material. And then below that, we have our specialty courses. To navigate between our other languages, if you click here, you'll see the list where we have any recent languages that the learner has been studying. We have our top 9 languages, again, listed out right here. And then we do have all of the languages listed alphabetically as well. So you can navigate between the lessons at any point. But for today, we are going to take a look at the French course. So again, if you were looking to navigate between the key course material, we've got that listed here in green. We have our specialty courses in orange down here. And then we also have placement tests available. So for anyone who might already have a little bit of experience with the language that is not quite sure where to start, if you take this short assessment, it will recommend a place in the lesson for you to get started with. But for today, we are going to take it from the top and start with lesson 1 of chapter 1 in unit 1. So the first thing you'll see when starting any new chapter in any language are your conversational goals and your grammar goals. This will give the learner a heads up on what they can look forward to accomplishing by the end of the chapter. The next slide, you're going to hear a conversation in the language between 2 native speakers.
This chapter will teach you to have delightful conversations like this. Bien, bonjour. Ça va?
Ça va bien, merci. Et vous?
Très bien, merci.
Il fait froid aujourd'hui.
Oui, en effet.
Bon, à tout à l'heure.
Oui, au revoir. À tout à l'heure. Don't worry if the conversation seemed difficult. We'll lead you through it part by part.
All right, so yes, as we just heard the narrator say, we're going to use the break it down and build it back up method moving throughout the chapter. So we will start teaching this conversation to you bit by bit so you can slowly put it back together again. So if you were to listen to this again at the end of the chapter, you would be able to follow along.
When you say,
Tiens, bonjour, ça va?
you are saying, oh, good morning, how are you? But it's literally translated as, hold it, good morning, how's it going?
So this is a great example of one of our learning slides because it includes all of Mango's key features. So one of the things that should pop out to you first are all the different colors. So this is called our semantic color mapping feature. And we have it designed so that you can see exactly which word lines up in the source language and the target language just by looking at it. To hear the narrator say the sentence again, if you click on the small green circle in the center, they will read through it again. And if you hover over it, you'll see a phonetic pop-up that will be helpful with pronouncing the sentence.
Tiens, bonjour, ça va?
To get a little bit more in depth with pronunciation, if you click on each individual word, not only will the narrator pronounce it at a slower, more articulated pace, you'll also see the phonetic pop-up for those individual words. So this is very helpful when learning a new language. You know, sometimes when sentences are longer, if things are fast, you might not be able to understand exactly where one word ends and the next begins. So this way you can really get in there and make sure that you're understanding the pronunciation of each word correctly.
Tiens, bonjour, ça va? Tiens, bonjour, ça va?
To get even more in depth with pronunciation, we also have a voice comparison feature. So by clicking on that, you can play the narrator's recording.
Tiens, bonjour, ça va?
Get a refresher on those phonetic
Tiens.
pop-ups.
Bonjour, ça va?
And then record yourself saying it. Tiens, bonjour, ça va? So I know my French accent is pretty bad, but we have this nice little sound graph that will pop up, and so you can just visually see how you lined up. You can also go in and play either just the narrator's recording, you can play just your own recording, or you can play them both simultaneously.
Tiens, bonjour, ça va?
So we call this the world's most patient tutor because you can literally get in there and do this over and over and over again and practice until you are really comfortable with your pronunciation. Another cool feature we have is the literal versus understood meaning. So sometimes words don't translate always exactly, and sometimes there are different nuances that can change the translation. So we always make sure to include both the literal translation, so you know exactly what each individual word means, so that if it appears in a different context, you still have that understanding. And then we'll show you what the understood meaning is. So some other great features that are present in all of our lessons are grammar and culture notes. So let's see.
We have different ways to say how are you in French, from the informal
Ça va?
to the more formal.
Comment allez-vous?
When talking to strangers in France, we always use the
Vous?
form.
So on this slide, we see an example of one of our culture notes. So their relevant cultural insights are built into each lesson to help learners understand the context of a new language. And these culture notes pop up at relevant periods where you're learning about the different materials. So here we see the words that are in orange are words that have been introduced throughout the lesson so that the learner has been learning these. And if you click on them,
Comment allez-vous?
they are interactive, just like throughout the rest of the lesson. So you can get in there and understand when it's appropriate to learn certain phrases as you learn them, or just any other relevant cultural material that will help make learning the language a little bit easier. These culture notes are also complemented by grammar
You
notes.
can be translated by
Tu,
or
vous,
in French,
tu,
is informal and used only with well-known acquaintances.
vous,
Is the polite way to say you when speaking to strangers. We use it all the time in restaurants, shops, etc. to be respectful.
So throughout Mango's lessons, a majority of the grammar is learned without realizing it. That's actually another benefit of the semantic color mapping, is it clearly highlights the sentence structure in each language. But to help go along with that as well, we also have language-specific grammar insights that are provided throughout the lesson for clarity and more structured learning. So just like the culture notes pop in at relevant periods to help the learner understand a little bit more of the specific nuances of the language, we do also have grammar notes that are helpful as well. And so as I briefly mentioned earlier, Mango is available on both desktop and mobile. And so all of these features that we've just experienced now, they are available in the mobile app. And the interface is actually set up exactly the same, so it makes for a nice, seamless learning experience. We also have a couple other practice activities that are available both on the mobile app and on the desktop, and those are our listening and grammar activities. So at the end of the chapters within Units 1 and 2 of our top 9 languages, learners have 2 skill-focused practice activities, the listening and the reading. So these activities reinforce the conversational content through audio segments and written passages while also introducing new vocabulary. So first we'll take a look at the listening activity. First, we always like to give you a heads up of what you can look forward to see. So here's an example of what the screens will look like. On the left-hand side, you'll see the listening portion of the activity. So first at the top, we'll see a breakdown of the total number of words that we will be exposed to in this activity. So for this one, there are 42 total words, with 32 of those words being unique. You can also see that we have 2 new words that have not been introduced to yet. So by clicking on this, it will reveal your word bank where you can get a preview of these words, the translations, and the pronunciations.
vivement,
As you're about to learn them. So the learner has the option to either listen to each line individually by clicking on the play button.
Tiens, salut Paul, ça va?
Or you can listen to the entire passage in its entirety by clicking on the button down at the bottom.
Il fait très froid ce samedi matin et il neige beaucoup.
If you're not quite ready for the full listening experience, we do have the option to turn on the text with this little icon here on the right. So this you can also do either line by line or do the entire passage down here at the bottom. So once you go through and listen to the passage, you can view the comprehension questions here on the right-hand side. So we have 3 different types of questions. There is main idea, detail, and inference. Clicking on an answer to a question will show the learner immediate feedback. And both the incorrect and the correct answers will be shown. And there will also be an explanation as to why the answer is correct or incorrect. So we are going to exit and then slide on over to the reading activity. So you can see the setup is very similar. It offers the same content as the reading activity, but with visual support. You can hover over the black text to get the phonetic pop-up, or if you hover over the orange text, it will give you the translation for the new words. And again, it's always interactive, so if you click on it,
Toujours. Froid.
you will get that pronunciation to further help with that there. So while the listening and the reading activities are specific to our top languages, our new dynamic review system is available for all languages. So we can see this review feature here on the right-hand side of the screen. So as learners progress through each lesson, key words or phrases are automatically added to their review activity. The review activity is designed to satisfy the needs of any language learner regardless of their level of proficiency. So it's actually powered by custom technology that helps the learner memorize key phrases depending on what they individually need to work on. So every day a learner logs into Mango, they'll be presented with a specific set of phrases to review based on what they have previously learned the day before. The frequency with which the learner sees each given phrase will vary depending on their ability to recall the correct translation and mark it as either correct or incorrect. So right now we're in the French activity. So this review activity shows all of my French cards up for review. So if I've also been working on Spanish, for example, those review cards will be kept separately in the Spanish section. So you can either click on this list here to get a preview of your cards that are up for review, or you can just click here and get started.
What's the way to say, "Hi, how are you?"
So similar to our quiz slides in the Mango Conversations, this is a self-paced activity that's encouraging users to recall their previously learned content. So you can take as much time as you need to recall the answer for this. But when you are ready, when you hit See Answer,
Salut, ça va?
the narrator will pronounce it, and then you will see the correct translations with all of the great features that we just took a look at, including the phonetic pop-ups, the semantic color mapping. We do also have that understood and literal meaning, as well as the voice comparison tool here in the upper right-hand corner. So if you recall the answer correctly, click yes, and the card will go away for this review session.
Try to say, "Good evening, how are you?"
Our spaced repetition algorithm is built so that the card will appear at a different time, and the more you mark it as getting it correct, the less frequently the card will be introduced to you because we're marking it as you memorizing it. So if you already have a card
Bonsoir,
memorized,
comment allez-vous?
and say you already feel very, very confident that you know the correct answer for this, if you click on the trophy on the bottom left-hand side of the screen and click Memorize, it will
Do you remember how to say, "Oh, good morning"?
It will remove the card from your deck since you've memorized it. So if you get one wrong and if you
Tiens,
correct no,
bonjour.
it's going
Do
to
you
pull the
remember
card
how to
out
say, "Oh, good morning"?
and introduce it to you again until you get it right. So you have the ability to go in and practice the cards that you need help with as many times as you would like.
Tiens, bonjour.
And once you complete the review cards, you'll see all the ones that you got right, wrong, and anything that you have listed as mastered. So when you hit continue, it will take you back to the learning page where you can go in and either move on to the next lesson, check out a specialty course, or explore any of the other languages or materials we have available. For our top 9 languages, we also have a feature called Mango Premiere. So Mango Premiere is located in the Explorer tab right here at the top. And Mango Premiere, we have authentic full-length foreign films that we have applied our methodology onto. So there are 2 ways to enjoy the films. There is Engage mode and Movie mode. Engage mode will actually let you go through the movie scene by scene, taking a look at key vocab words, any dialogue, or any specific cultural situations that you're going to see before engaging with the scene. So you can get a preview of that, you can then enjoy the scene, and then you can either move on to the next one or go back and review the key dialogue that was introduced. The other way is movie mode. So with movie mode, you know, it's more traditional, almost as if you were watching Netflix, where you can just kick back, relax, and enjoy the film. And you have the option to either have the subtitles in English, you can have them in your target language, or you can have them both up simultaneously. And we do include the semantic color mapping, the phonetic pop-ups, and the pronunciation in all of the subtitles. So this is a great additional feature for people who want to get a little bit more in depth with their language learning and really experience the language as if they were a native speaker. So that does pretty much wrap up all of Mango's key features. Does anyone have any questions, or is there anything else that we would like to take a look at, whether it be within the French course or any of the other languages we can explore?
Could you show the specialty courses?
Yes, absolutely. Let's see. So for the specialty courses, so for French, we have the Argot slang course, the wine and cheese, and the romance. Do you have a preference for which one, or shall I just pick one?
Just pick one. I just want people to see it.
Absolutely. So the functionality of it is set up pretty similar. So right now we're going to take a look at the wine and cheeses course. And so again, first you'll see the conversation goals and the grammar goals. So we can see that we're going to experience how to make a suggestion, order wines and cheeses, and use just different expressions.
Listen to the following conversation.
Ça te dit si on prend un verre de vin et une planche de fromage?
Oui, je suis partante. Alors, qui dit fromage, dit rouge, non?
Oui, mais moi j'aime bien les vins qui ont de la cuisse.
Et moi, je préfère le fromage de chèvre au fromage de vache coulant.
Oh, mais c'est quoi cette odeur? C'est abominable! Ça empeste!
Ah ça doit être le camembert.
Ok, alors, tout ce que tu veux, mais surtout pas ça.
So this is a good example of some of the more fun courses that we have. With the specialty courses, there are cool ones like this where it's like wine and cheese. We have a Spanish flamenco dance for Castilian Spanish, but there's also courses that are really great for professional development. Like for example, for Spanish, we have a Spanish for Librarians course, which comes in handy quite often. It can help you with speaking with patrons who are native Spanish speakers who are looking to apply for a library card or search for a certain book or things like that. We have a business course, both a legal and a medical course. For our ESL Spanish course, we actually have a ESL for Spanish-speaking job seekers. So if you have any patrons who are looking to fill out resumes or if they're preparing for interviews, that's a really great course to recommend. We also have a pirate course, which is kind of fun. So September 19th is International Talk Like a Pirate Day. So we have a lot of people use this course to, kind of promote that day, but also to use it as an entryway into language learning. So we'll have a lot of people, specifically younger patrons who get really excited about it. They spend a while practicing for pirate and they see just how easy it is to learn a language with Mango. So it's great to help encourage people to actually get in there and start playing around with all of the content we have available. Any other questions or anything else that we would like to take a look at for today?
No, nothing's coming up in chat.
Okay, and I know, we had it reserved until 2:15, so I can definitely hang out for a little bit too, in case any questions do come up, or if anyone does want to play around with anything else. Otherwise, let's see, I am going to pull up. Here is my contact information. So if anyone does, if any questions do come up in the future, or if anyone's having questions about navigating the course or creating new profiles, please feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call at any point.
You'll have to do a new share to show your feature because all I'm seeing is a blank box.
All right. Oops. Okay, let's see. I thought I did it. Here we go.
Zoom's a little finicky.
Okay. Did it switch now?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for that, Angie. Yeah, I'm not the smoothest with Zoom, I guess.
Well, I'm fine with ending it early if you're fine with it. If there are any questions, I will be sending out this recording. I'll be sending out the slides as well. Like Sabrina said, you're welcome to contact her with questions. You're welcome to contact the State Library with any questions on Mango as well.
Yes, and yeah, thank you guys again for taking time to go over everything with us.
Thank you for the presentation, Sabrina.
No problem, Angie. I will, I'll be in touch with you again soon too. I'll give you those new slides as soon as we have them.
Sounds good. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye-bye.